I hit got it.
Yes, thank you.
Got it.
Okay, this is the regular meeting of the Town of New Canaan Police Commission, May 18th, 2023. First order of business tonight is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting held on April 19th. Are there any comments to the minutes?
Adding one. On page 1, it was item 2. The chief reviewed, etc. For the month of March, not March 13th. Just take out 1-3 after March.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
That was all.
Okay,
It looked like it repeated from.
Got it.
the
Yeah.
minutes above.
okay.
That's it.
Any other comments? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Second, the minutes from the special session meeting on May 3rd, 2023. Any comments on those minutes?
I have none.
Okay, a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so they're approved. All right, chief, department monthly reports.
The reports, budget report, we are on track currently at 83%. I know the overtime line item is high, but that is also something that we are offsetting with the approved money for the school security officer that was approved by the Board of Finance. So that number will come down once we put in for the overtime that's created by that position. So that overtime figure is not entirely correct. So we are on track in good shape budget wide.
Oh, so it hit that account
Yeah, so
rather than the new account that's going to be created for it, or the addition of money that's going into that.
no, if you remember last year when Leon got, I think it was 110,000 for school security,
Okay.
and that was to put that roving school security officer for the elementary schools. It was to offset the overtime created by that position. So what we do is, once he works for 3 months, I go back and
Catch it.
designate what overtime was generated from that, and then we get finance to move that money. So it's just moving money around, but it's offsetting. They haven't been putting that in.
Not yet, no,
So they
that's
haven't.
why. it's-
That's why it's off.
Yeah,
That's why it's showing.
yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna do that at the end of
Yeah.
so that at the end of the fiscal year, they'll move all that money, but we're tracking it.
Does that
And
correspond with benefits, accrued benefits payout too?
well,
Where, that's that on the second page. It's
That-
7,000.
no,
People retire.
yeah, that's.
That's
just-
for that.
Yeah,
And that's
that's just a payout that,
For like 6 time.
right, because we hadn't accrued for it, or we hadn't put it down because we didn't know what it was going to be.
Right.
Now we know what it is.
yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah, and that's only when someone retires.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good.
And animal control is on track with 68.5%, and then the dog fund is 66%. 66.5. Track for those. Staffing report. 2 officers in the academy. 1 officer is currently in field training. The other officer, Perez, he is doing his comparative training. And then once he's done with that, he'll come out and get onto field training. So, and then we have 1 current opening. So how are we doing with recruitment for upcoming
The
openings?
June, I think it's the 13th through the 15th are the peer interviews. So Brian's he's gonna pick through the list from that we have and put together a panel for peer interviews and get that going. So then that's on track. I think it starts, I thought it's scheduled, but late fall, October is it?
Okay.
Academies and-
We got 2 seats.
2 seats, because we'll have what, 3 openings this summer.
Yeah.
Between June and July, so.
Yeah. Only have 2 seats for it. So.
Okay.
We can find a lot of.
All right. Monthly statistics. Community liaison, we had a pretty decent uptick in that activity. I think that's effort by our CIO position, doing a good job in that. For some reason, we had a pretty significant decline in false alarms. I'm not sure why. Went from year-to-date last year, 321 to year-to-date this year, 196. So that's a good trend. Hopefully that continues. I'm not exactly sure why that's occurring, but we'll take a look at that.
Is there less construction going on?
I don't know. I don't know if
That's
that's
the construction, there was a lot of
or-
construction during COVID, but now there is,
Yeah, I don't know. But it's a good trend. Hopefully it'll continue.
It's a fairly large increase, about 50% suspicious person and vehicle year to date from last year to this year. Is there,
I think that's just a result of you know, people calling in, you know, when they're at Waveney and they see something suspicious, and you know, that's just good kind of neighborhood watch, you know, people having, you know, good reason to call in. You know, and I think it's with all the vehicle break-ins and all those sorts of things that people are becoming a little bit more vigilant about those sorts of things and calling in things that perhaps look out of place. And that's it for monthly statistics.
okay, thank you, chief.
Can I ask you to add jump college course to the agenda? It's in front of you there. It says add to agenda.
Yeah, this is one of the things we,
okay, I'll make a motion to add Chief DeFederico's request for college course approval to the agenda.
Thank you.
all in favor? Aye, okay, so it's
Thank you.
added. Okay. So next item on the agenda is the Police Week 2023 moment of silence for Chief Louis Drucker and Officer James Martin. Someone going to speak about this or?
Yeah, so we put this press release out and we you do this every year at this time. In 1962, President Kennedy claimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week, which May 15th falls, as National Police Week. Established by a joint resolution of the U.S. Congress in 1962, National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for safety and protection of others. In 2002, across our nation, 64 officers were killed in the line of duty. These fallen officers left behind families and friends who will forever carry the ache of loss and grief which accompanies a life lost in its prime. These officers made the supreme sacrifice for their communities they serve. In 1888 and again in 1991, the New Canaan Police Department experienced this unimaginable loss of 2 of its officers in the line of duty. In honor of National Police Week, the department would like to remember and honor the legacy and service of those 2 officers, as well as the family members they left behind. Chief Louis Drucker, end of watch January 25th, 1888. Louis Drucker died on January 25th, 1888, after being shot in the chest by a bootlegger when responding to a complaint of illegal alcohol sales at a Seminary Street home. Officer James Martin, end of watch July 24th, 1991. James Martin died on July 24th, 1991, after coming into contact with a downed electrical wire while responding to a stranded motorist with trees down call on Valley Road. Let us reaffirm our commitment to never forget the ultimate sacrifice that these officers made in honor of their memories. May we never forget. So we could just take a moment of silence to remember those officers.
Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Next order of business is the mid-block crosswalk on Elm Street. We have a memo and there's Tiger. Hello, Tiger.
Hello, thank you very much. So you have the memo we prepared. This crosswalk is at the request of the Board of Ed, as well as Walter Stewart's. We had gotten a separate request from Walter Stewart's from this prior to the BOE. But now that the BOE is moving into 220 Elm Street, they have a kind of a working relationship with Stewart's, where some of their students from the programs at 220 Elm will be working at Stewart's, and the superintendent would like us to install a crosswalk. They try to have their students follow the rules. The nearest crosswalk, if we didn't use one directly across the street, would be down at Elm Park to cross. So they'd have to go down to Elm Park, come back up, come across the street, and then come all the way back to in essence come across the street for themselves. We took a look at it. Sight lines are very, very adequate in the area. The sidewalk on both sides is at least 5 feet wide, so it'll accommodate a pedestrian ramp. We are looking to put in a rapid rectangular flashing beacon at the location, just to add additional significance to the crossing, given the students that'll be crossing there. We request permission to install it.
Looks pretty standard. Very Tiger, pretty standard crosswalk, right?
Yes, yeah,
With a ramp down and then to the street level and then a ramp coming up on the other side. So
correct. Yeah, both service from the sidewalk. We won't be using the driveway. There's a coming straight out of 220 Elm. We'll dip down at that point and then come straight across the street and install one at that location. The sidewalk on the Walter Stewart side, we measured it pretty much exactly 5 feet, and then we'll be able to create a cutout for the RRFB as well, for the posts of the RRFB.
We have a memo or email from Jeff Holland. Have you had a chance to look at that, Tiger?
I did.
Do you have any comment on it?
Think I addressed his concerns.
Okay. Okay,
I have no objection.
No, it sounds
I
like
think
a-
it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because people
People
go,
have been crossing there in the middle of the street for years.
forever, yeah, you just go. Okay,
Um,
any other discussion?
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Would
Thank
approve mid-block crosswalk on Elm Street as outlined in the memorandum dated April 10th, 2023. Thanks, Tiger.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
While he's still on.
But don't go away.
I don't,
Don't go away,
I
Tiger.
don't think the bump outs are on the agenda, so you
No.
want to just discuss.
Yeah. Hey, Tiger, with regard to the bump outs that the cones were up today, outlined some of the space. I raised this when we discussed this last time, some time ago. And what I'm wondering is, can we reduce part of it? And the part I'm looking at is, I have a picture here, but I don't know, it's hard to explain. Right at the intersection of South and Elm
Mhm.
on the, I guess it's the southeast, southwest.
Yeah.
If you look at the crosswalk that's furthest east,
Furthest
Yeah.
east.
furthest east
Okay.
on Elm,
Uh-huh.
there's a bump out that extends from the crosswalk which crosses south. And it extends in a northward direction just west of the crosswalk on Elm, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
Do we need that part? Because my concern is, I don't know that that accomplishes, unless I'm missing something, I'm not sure what that accomplishes from a safety standpoint. And I think that that portion of the bump out, together with potentially the portion across the street from it will impede traffic flow unnecessarily with little or no benefit. Am I missing something?
Well, we monitored, after we installed, we monitored for at least a half an hour twice. This morning, we had our worst vehicle that would have to navigate it, the ladder truck, make the turn successfully twice, and then make the turn from South Avenue onto Elm Street. What it also does, I mean, it adds bulk to the crosswalk. It provides, it shortens the crossing distance for a pedestrian. That's our main concern. If not, if we didn't install that, then I would lose the 2 parking spaces that we're gaining back. I'd lose an additional 25 feet from the crosswalk heading eastward if I don't install that one. Also,
No, but
what we also have been receiving sporadically or throughout time has been that people make a right-hand turn from South Avenue onto Elm Street and head in the wrong direction. There's a gentleman who has an office above the that looks straight down on it, that sends me an email every so often and says people are still crossing. We have 5 we had up to 5 one-way signs to try to tell everyone that they need to make a left-hand turn. That crosswalk will add bulk to it. Everyone navigated it precisely and did a nice job, slowed down at the intersection, and then were able to make the turn without incident. So
so my question would be, obviously, there's enough room for an automobile to pass by, but I think it will impede the flow of traffic because let's say someone's traveling down Elm in the lane that's southernmost, you know, that bump out, you can see there's a vehicle in this picture that would have probably clipped the bump out.
Which is exactly why it's there.
Exactly.
Don't
It's
want
exact-
private. That's, you don't want those vehicles to shorten that turn. You want to force them to go into the southbound lane because you have vehicles coming out of South Avenue, but you also have pedestrians crossing that crosswalk, and that provides them an area of refuge where cars won't go, or if they do, they'll have to jump the curb. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So there'll be a curb, right? It'll be,
Yeah, because the curb will come right up to here. So when this car is coming, it's actually gonna make them stop. When you're coming from this way right now, people just whiz by. So this way, it would slow them down, make a nice radius onto here.
what's out there now is a stop sign stanchion, because we had to put it in the middle of the road because people weren't adhering to the stop sign, because they wouldn't see it. So this pushes, and we would remove that, so that won't be in the middle of the road. So it
but that's a different,
No, it's not. It's the
Oh, it's
exact
all-
same
it's all
situation.
it
It
all,
makes the people push out and go around. If we take away the bump out, they short the intersection. And they actually come across the travel lane from the person that's heading from southbound onto Elm Street. We want them to make that turn. We want them to slow down at the intersection and make the turn instead of gliding through the turn. We want them to slow at the intersection and then make a left without impeding traffic. We're not asking for a stop sign or a yield. We're asking for free flow on Elm Street. This just will mitigate anyone traveling too fast, and we'll have to have them slow to navigate the turn. The fire truck did it with a car in the intersection at South Avenue, waiting to make a left-hand turn onto Elm Street. They made it successfully, and they had to do it with the pedestrian stanchion in the middle and the stop sign. If we take away the stop sign, because now the bump out will be farther across the street, narrowing the lane, we'll have the stop sign on the side of the road, be right in front of the car. We won't have to have that one in the middle. That should help, free up a little bit of flow, but we suggest strongly to keep it exactly the way it's designed.
okay, I guess I'm not gonna belabor it.
because this wasn't just Tiger's creation either. This was done by the traffic engineer.
I know.
Well, this was done by the Western Council of Governments. They had a traffic engineer study it, our engineer study it, and we had another engineer study it. So we've had 3 separate people come in with the exact same design.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Well, we'll slow the traffic down, which is
Yeah.
what we're trying to do. and keep everybody in their right
Yeah,
lanes.
I'm not, my personal view is that traffic is not traveling at an excessive speed right now from what I observe, but okay, let's just drop it.
All right, and like we said, it's already been voted on, so there's no need to vote on anything tonight.
Right, right, okay,
Thank you.
all right. Thanks,
Thank you very much.
Tiger.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiger.
Building renovation and training facility update.
So we are meeting next week, a week from today, with the architect and the communications Norcom and to iron out all the details of moving our communications to 39 Locust. And then we're also meeting with the architect for just a regular building meeting, or was there something else?
Regular building meeting at 8, and we're doing a walkthrough at noon here.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna- So two things. And I think we're gonna at least while we're here, take a look at the generator,
Generator, yeah.
what the issues are, if there are issues. And
Yeah.
what to do about that, and then I guess get rid of the shed idea. In the back.
Yes, yeah.
Kill that, finally,
Yes. Yes,
because right now, people think we need it. We thought,
no, and the architect
Somebody else
reviewed it
did
and
it.
said there's considerable amount of underground utilities in back there that would further very complicate putting anything back there, so for the benefit of putting up a shed, it's not worth the cost, so.
but that's for the building. We don't have anything on the training center yet, but it will be discussed at the 8 o'clock meeting, I'm sure. But I'll bring it up again.
Yeah.
Like clockwork,
Yes.
every meeting. But I've not run into any group or any person really around town that's opposed to the training center. I think they kind of want to know why we need it. And when it's explained slowly and clearly, they get it. And that's town council members and board of finance members, so, and just people, public in general, so. We'll see where this all goes. But as we see it, as I've always seen it, it's a unit deal. It's this and that, not this or that.
Okay. Award memorandum and letters of appreciation. Chief, do you want to?
Yes, so. April 20th this year, then Lieutenant Ferenga, now Captain Ferenga, submitted the nomination for Sergeant Callanan, Officer Jarvis, and Officer Soma for their efforts to administer the AED and save a life of a person who was in cardiac arrest. And we also received an additional letter from the EMS crew saying that how great job that our officers did for that as well. And, they would be recognized at our upcoming award ceremony for saving a life.
When will that be?
June 20th, we're gonna do.
June 20th.
Recognize promotions and some awards. We'll send you an
Yeah.
invitation. Should be a nice night. We have a lot to celebrate, so. That was
Great.
one of them, and then received a email from a gentleman that had a situation at his house, some questions of well-being of one of his daughter that was away at school, and it was Officer Rienzi, Lopez, and Agolia went to the house and got to the bottom of the issue without going into too much detail, but it was certainly concerning for the father who was heard something about his daughter might be in danger at school, and they acted professionally and courteously and got to the bottom of it. And the father was very appreciative of the professionalism and good work that those 3 officers did.
Okay. And we have approval for the college course approval for the cold case investigations and supervising and managing investigative unit for you.
Last 2 classes.
Hmm.
Last 2.
Really?
Yeah, oh, good,
Right.
Master, what's it?
Masters, yeah.
Masters.
good.
They're
Can I get a
elected, so
motion
I had
to
just pick
approve?
something.
I don't know. Do you really need the last 2?
Need a second of that?
How much are they?
Second,
I second
okay,
that.
all in favor, aye?
Aye,
We approve.
we approve. Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, anything else? Do we have anything for executive session?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't
Anything? I don't think so.
Okay. All right, any other business? I get a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.